Hi everyone, today's video is all about re-gripping a tennis racket. As we all know, when we play tennis, your hand gets sweaty, gets hot, and over time the grip that it's holding can become worn and it can lose its stickiness. So now and again you should re-grip your tennis racket with a new grip that's nice and sticky, so your hand can really grip it and it's not going to move when the strings strike the ball. There's two types of grips. You can get a replacement grip, which is when you would take often the manufacturing grip off the tennis racket and you replace it with a replacement grip. They're thicker and spongier, and they have sticky tape inside all the way around the grip to attach itself to the actual frame of the racket. And then we have an over grip, which is what I'm going to show you today, which is much thinner. And an over grip normally goes over the top of the manufacturing grip. So I'm going to show you how to re-grip the tennis racket. The principles are exactly the same whether it's a replacement grip or an over grip. Bit of fun to do at home. So one thing you obviously need, you need a grip and you need a pair of scissors. So if it's the kids, if you're going to have a go, please obviously get your parents there to overwatch you when you've got the scissors. So the first thing obviously you need to do is undo the grip, take off the little tape, the sticky part, because that's what we use at the end. Now what I like to do with the grip is first of all unravel the whole thing. And if you notice at the beginning it's a thick straight edge all the way, but at the other end you'll often find with the grips it's much thinner. Okay, and that's the end that we're going to start at the bottom with. And again, a lot of the grips will have this little piece of cellophane on. Okay, if I can get my fingers on it. And you're just going to get rid of that cellophane. So the grip's ready, and at that thin end, again, depending on what grip you purchase, a lot of them, the reason I like to start is because it has a little sticker. If I pull that sticker off, that little bit's sticky. Okay, so I've got that sticky part which is going to stick to the end of the racket. Now most rackets, as you can see, have these lines. Most grips have these lines on them, and what I like to do is I find where it starts, and that's the place where I'm going to stick this little piece of grip to. But turn around and see if I can get it in the angle there. Okay, and I'm just going to stick that down right at the end. Okay, so that's there, and that's going to be my guide of where I'm going to start pulling the grip all the way around. So I'm trying to get the grip as close to the end of the racket until the grip starts overlapping the beginning of the grip. So once it's overlapped, I then just start pulling at a slight angle the grip, trying to follow the lines that are already there all the way around, keeping it nice and tight against the manufacturer's grip. And if, for example, you get a little bubble, just go back, okay, and just keep tightening it up until you're wrapping that grip around and there's no bubbles. And then once you get over the thicker part of the racket, you just keep wrapping the grip around, slightly overlapping the grip that's already on the racket. Yeah, and try and keep that overlap consistent all the way down. Okay, so these little bits that are overlapping, I'm trying to keep the same consistency of them all the way. And I just keep going in a circle, keep twisting the racket until I get nearly to the end of the grip. And as I get to the end of the grip, as you can see, there's usually a little bit left. This is where you're going to take your scissors, and all as I'm going to do, I'm going to cut the end, create that angle that was similar to how the grip began. It doesn't have to be perfect, okay? And that's going to then allow me to square it off at the bottom. Okay, so from there you can just either keep your finger on it or you can put it down, because it won't unravel itself really. This is when obviously you then need to get your tape, undo the tape, take the back part off the sticky bit. This is where I get a bit OCD-ish. I always like to have, most of them come with some writing, so this is a Wilson grip. I like to make sure that the Wilson's facing my hand down. And then all you're going to do is stick it over the very end part, and you just wrap it around all the way and stick it back down. And that's the grip done. And as I said, that's the same for an over grip or a replacement grip. The process is exactly the same. The last thing I want to talk about with regards to the grip, I often get asked in relation to how big the grip should be. There's no real set fact of what it should be like. It should be just comfortable for your hand. Some people like a smaller grip, some people like a larger grip. A general rule, if you want to start, where to start though, if you've got the chopper grip, if you're just holding it, your little finger should just about be able to fit in between the fingers and this part of your thumb. So if you can get a tiny little bit of finger into there, then that's kind of a rough area of where to start and whether the grip's the right size. One thing you could think about is the thinner the grip is, the more the hand's got to wrap round, then the more the muscles in the arm have got to squeeze. And again, if you've got elbow issues, the more that's having to squeeze, the more you could flare up that elbow. And so sometimes a slightly larger grip might help release that. But again, it doesn't want to be so big that you can't actually get your fingers wrapped around the grip. So, but the main thing is that your hand feels comfortable and you're happy with that, with the size of that grip. So that's the grip. If you've got one at home, have a little practice and see if you can get it as neat as mine.